Charles, P2 and P3, and on paper that looks like a decent Friday, but it's not quite been like that for you, has it? How would you sum it up?
Well, in terms of performance, it's been a positive day. In terms of running, it's been a very, very difficult day for us. We've had quite a bit of problems and very limited running, so we need to catch up in FP3. But seems like the performance is good, so that's a good thing. But we still need to do a step from today to tomorrow, and hopefully more running in FP3 tomorrow to get ready for qualifying.
What concerns do you have over how costly the missed running may be, certainly in FP2 and on the medium tyre as well?
I mean, it's never ideal to not have much running on city tracks. More laps you do, the faster you get. So, but again, I'm not too worried. It's just been not a great day. But yeah, I'm sure that in FP3 we can have a clean FP3 and catch up a little bit what the mileage that we missed from today. The only shame is obviously we didn't do any race run today. But anyway, qualifying is important, and I'm sure we'll be strong.
I know there were some setup changes between FP1 and FP2. How much more comfort has that given you in the car, and how much more do you think you can actually unlock ahead of tomorrow? Because one lap pace for both you and Carlos in this Ferrari is clearly here on this track.
Yes, in terms of one lap pace, we are quite strong. But yeah, let's see about the race pace. I have no idea for now. We went in the right direction from FP1 to FP2. And as I was saying, I hope we can do another step for tomorrow.
Yeah, FP3 very important. Just a word on conditions as well. Everyone saying just how savage it was out there in terms of the heat, the humidity. How did you cope?
Yeah, it was quite warm, but it's only for practices. So for now, it's okay. But the race will be tough.
The race will be tough. What's possible tomorrow?
Well, we'll go for the maximum result. So yeah, we'll target pole and let's see what's possible.
Carlos, fastest in FP2, just 0.2 quicker than your teammate Charles Leclerc. How would you assess your Friday?
I think it's overall been a decent Friday because we managed to do all the run plan. We had quite a lot of laps, which around the city track is what you need, just to get laps under your belt. But yeah, we faced some challenges. FP1 was definitely a surprise with how bumpy and how poor the car was in general in terms of ride and how rough it felt out there. For FP2 we managed to improve a bit the car, but we still have some things to look at because it looks like it's going to be a tight battle for 6.
You made some changes, didn't you, between FP1 and FP2. How much more comfortable are you feeling in the car, and how much more comfort do you think you can find on this track?
Overall I was feeling more comfortable in FP2, but still not quite where I wanted to be. You need to have a lot of confidence to be able to put a good lap together around here and to put all the sectors together, all the corners together, which are a lot of them, and we're not at that level yet. So we still have to make some steps going into tomorrow.
You had a couple of moments out there as well. It's safe to say you're getting to grips with the track again.
I just proves when you have moments on Friday that even if I wasn't pushing really flat out, the car and myself, we were still fighting each other a bit, But yeah, I have margin going into tomorrow in terms of pushing level, but the more confidence I managed to get in the car, for sure the closer I could get to those walls.
And let's talk about conditions as well. We're all talking about the heat this weekend, but how arduous, how difficult was it out there?
It was tricky, very warm, a lot of sweat, a lot of liters of water drunk today just to get the weight back up. Normally Friday is the toughest here because you do 2 sessions, you don't really have time to recover between one another, and it's the first impact that the body has in these conditions, so you always suffer more. And normally come Sunday you've already done Friday and Saturday, so the body has trained and you're better off. So hopefully that's the case again this year.
And what about the track as well? How has it evolved today, and how do you expect it to continue evolving as temperatures, I guess, go up and then dip slightly into the evening?
It evolved, but not massively. The track was in pretty good condition straight away in FP1, which is nice to see from the track preparations that they did. The main thing was how tricky it was to get the soft tire to work today, and I think we all expected to put the soft tire and go a second quicker, and we didn't go more than 3 or 4 tenths quicker, which was a bit of a surprise and means that there's still a bit to find there tomorrow.
A 1-2 today. What's possible tomorrow, and how much more are you expecting from Red Bull?
Well, I think today there were a couple of guys there with issues that didn't put probably the best possible lap time together, and I think tomorrow we all have a lot of margin to improve. So I expect tomorrow to be a lot quicker, and yeah, I think both the Ferraris, the Red Bulls and the Mercs are going to step it up, and we're going to need to be the ones that step it up the most.
Well, Alex, this track is hard enough at the best of times without what you've been through in the last few weeks. Just tell me how you're feeling from a physical point of view at the moment.
Okay, I'd leave it as just okay. It feels hot out there. I think that's normal. We knew it was going to be difficult, but I feel like I'm coping better than I expected. It feels like, of course, we've had a good amount of long runs. It's still most probably a quarter of what we'd be doing come race day on Sunday, but I've still got a day to rest tomorrow, and of course, just it being one race and one block of driving, it should hopefully not too bad. So yeah, it feels okay when I'm in the car, generally speaking, and it's more just the heat. Once you get out and you can feel that it's obviously physical, but I feel like there's no big issues, so I feel pretty good.
I know you won't want to be feeling sorry for yourself, so let's talk data, let's talk hard numbers. How impressed were you with the car's performance out of the box, and how far do you think there is to go with this car?
Yeah, it feels like we know where we're struggling. That's the main thing. It feels like the car's got a little bit more potential in it, but we knew we were coming here with the, let's say, a little bit more behind than we were in Monza. Just the way that the circuit is, it doesn't tend to go in our favour. This is a very downforce efficient circuit. You need it's 23 corners around here, and not many straight lines to get that lap time back. So we're doing what we can. I feel like there's definitely lap time to be had, and still getting to the rhythm and getting closer to the walls. That's what it's about here. So we'll do our research homework tonight. We'll come back stronger, and Q2 would be a really big success for us, I think, this weekend.
Well, Nicholas, easy to forget that this was your first Singapore experience. How was it out there? Talk to me about it from the physical perspective.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of corners. I mean, I remember just doing the outlap in FP1, and I said, oh, okay, this track is just constantly turning, and it's. I mean, although the lap time is not the track length is not the longest lap, it feels like the longest lap because you're just always in a turn. There's no straights. Very, very bumpy, especially in these cars. I mean, I obviously don't have a reference of what it was like with the previous cars, but it's unpleasant in these cars, I guess, to say the least. And yeah, obviously the heat and the humidity. There's not a lot of kind of air circulation out there, so it's I think it'll be quite a challenge come Sunday.
Yeah. Is this a confidence track? Is this somewhere where you're just going to have to work it up over the weekend?
I think any street track you need to have confidence. I mean, let's say. The corners are much slower, let's say, compared to some other street tracks. I mean, especially if we compare to some sections of Miami or Jeddah in general, which is just super, super high speed, where you really do need to obviously have that trust and confidence in the car. But on the other hand, this track is maybe not as high speed corners, but it's so bumpy, and you need to trust what the car is going to do over those bumps. So it almost kind of balances out that confidence you need behind the wheel. So yeah, it's still proving to be quite tricky.
And despite not having any of those reference points, are you happy with your baseline today, and what are you hoping for tomorrow?
To be honest, it was a bit of a messy day. We had a telemetry issue in FP1, which cost quite a bit of track time and kind of offset our runs, so kind of on the back foot there. And then FP2, we were a little bit out of sequence as well. I had an issue with my seat belts, which I had to come in and just kind of put everything a bit off sequence. So there's definitely still a lot to come. I definitely felt better in FP1 than I did in FP2, so I think some things we tried didn't quite go in the right direction for there, so obviously we could always come back. I mean, tomorrow is what's important for qualifying, but yeah, still a lot to improve on from my side as well.